All right, good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another wonderful section on this series of strategic change management and organizational transformation. We started this series yesterday. We have 5 to 6 modules to deal with in this course, and we have dealt with. All right, good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another one. We are rounding up with the first module this morning and then getting to module 2. So we are trying to do our best to make sure that we harmonize everything by tomorrow. So one more time, you're welcome. And in case you're joining us for the first time, feel free to subscribe. And if you have not shared the screen, please feel free to share the stream and invite your friends, invite your colleagues. Let's learn once again. So yesterday we started with module 1. And at module 1, we had very interesting thing to do. We looked at the foundation of organizational. We looked at the foundation of organizational strategic change management, the foundations of strategic change management. And then we looked at, under it, we looked at analyzing the dynamic business environment, the overview of business environment as it were today. Then we also looked at the complex adaptive systems theory. Then we look at neuroscience. So this morning we'll be summarizing with the data-driven decision making, and after which we will go on to module 2, which is on the foundation of the foundation for organizational transformation. So then we'll look at other interesting things. But this morning, let's move fast. One more time, if you are joining us for the first time, please feel free, let us know where you're joining us from. Just use the comment section, let us know where you're joining us from. And in case you weren't here yesterday, please feel free to use the videos of yesterday. Please kindly search out the channel. You will see part 1 and part 2. So please feel free to search them out and then watch them to give you understanding, and so that you have a background of where we are coming from. All right. Okay. So we are going to data-driven decision making as in regards to change, the impact of data-driven decision making as it regards to what? To change. Okay. All right. So just give me a moment. Let me get to that particular slide, and then we will proceed immediately. Okay. All right. So we have also been looking at different case studies, different case studies to help us gain understanding of all of what we'll be learning. This is Advanced Strategic Change Management course. So like I said yesterday, we have quite a number of new terms that we've not heard before, and we're going to be learning new things we've not known before. So we are going with lesson 4 of mode 1, which is data-driven decision making in change. And we're going to be looking at 2 things here. We're going to be looking at utilizing analytics for informed decision making, and then we'll look at integrating data into change strategies. So let's move very fast and see what we have. By introduction, is always a common statement that change is inevitable in any organization. Change is inevitable in any organization. Now, data-driven decision-making is a key enabler for successful change. When we make changes or when we make decisions based on data, okay, it gives us more access to change, successful change. Remember what we talked about yesterday when we talked about the cognitive dissonance, we talked about the habitual patterns, how the brain functions, and how it accepts change and how it resists change. So when there is not enough information to the brain, it tries to resist change. Okay, and when there is enough information to the brain, it tries to accept change. So the brain makes decisions based on information available to it. Okay, and that's what we talk about training and retraining, and having effective communication in terms of initiating change and administering change. All right. Now, moving forward, what is data-driven decision-making? DDDM involves using data to inform and guide decision-making processes. It ensures decisions are based on evidence rather than intuition. It is data based on evidence, making decisions on data based on evidence rather than intuition. Okay, of course, when we read data, we understand patterns, we understand the possibility of where the future is going to. So with that, we can make decisions that are strategic, right? Rather than just having intuitions. Okay, so it's important that we get to understand those dimensions of change, okay, the essence of data in all of this. Okay, now moving forward, what's the importance of DDTM in change management? Number one, it provides a clearer understanding of the current state and impact of proposed change. So with data, you have a clearer understanding of the current state. Okay, you have a clearer understanding of the current state of events. So if you're going to say we are 5% complete, we are 20% complete, we are 95% complete. So with data that can be said, all right, we are 1/10 of the result we want to achieve. We are 5/10 of the result we want to achieve. Okay, so those data or the data available makes propositions clearer. Okay, okay, and then it also helps us to understand the impact of the change that we want to bring in. Then another thing is that it minimizes risks by identifying potential obstacles and bottlenecks. So with DDTM, it helps us to minimize risks by identifying the bottlenecks and obstacles. Of course, we understand that data is derived through research. Okay, data is derived through research. So through research, we would have found what the bottlenecks are, what the potential pitfalls are going to be, and then we will be able to provide risk mitigative measures to handling all of that. Then it aligns change initiatives with organizational goals and objectives. When we have a DDTM process, what we are doing is that we are aligning data with goals. We are aligning data with goals. So we are taking relevant data to make relevant decisions as they align with organizational goals. Okay, relevant data, aligning them with goals, organizational goals, so as to make relevant decisions. Okay, all right. What are the key components of DDTM? So we have the data collection, we have the data analysis, and we have the data visualization. Data collection, data analysis, and data visualization. Data collection could be in different ways, where when we get to readiness assessment, we'll look at different ways and different tools and techniques we can use in collecting data and in assessing change. So collection of data can be through surveys, can be through questionnaires, can be through observations and other quantitative and qualitative means of data collection. All right, and then we also go into data analysis to now give meaning to the data that has been collected, and then we now visualize the data to have better interpretation and better understanding of the data. All right, okay. So in the first class, I was trying to give some counsel, and I say that if you have not gotten into understanding data analytics, it's good to begin to pay attention to it. And you can start with the little ones that are available on our systems. You can start learning data analytics with your Microsoft Excel. Okay, Microsoft Excel is a very powerful tool for those who understand how it works. So we can start learning the little basics of data visualization, data analysis, and how to impute and clean data using Excel. All right. Now, what's the benefits of DDTM in change? It helps in making informed decisions. It helps in agility. So we have the velocity of decision making is increased, and there is prompt decision making. Okay, and it also helps in improved outcomes. It helps in improved outcomes. Now, if the organizational goals or decisions are made on organizational goals based on data, available relevant data, of course, we then expect to have improved outcomes and things as such. Now, what are the challenges and mitigations surrounding DDTM? We have challenges of data quality and accuracy. Okay, So how do you mitigate that? Implement robust data governance and validation processes. Okay, make sure that you have a robust data governance and validation processes. Then another change we have is resistance to data-driven culture. Not everybody understands numbers, not everybody understands graphs and visuals. And that's why when you're doing data visualization, you use ones that your audience, the people you are presenting to, will be able to understand what you're saying at the time, right? Okay, so the resistance to data-driven culture, how do you manage it? Foster a culture that values data and provide necessary training. Okay, foster a culture that values data and provide the necessary training as regards to data-driven decision making. To have the best practices for DDM in change. What are the best practices? Number one, establish clear data governance policies. Okay, how will data be collected? How will data be stored? How will data be analyzed? How will data be visualized? What we consider as a quality data? What would be the characteristics of a quality data? Okay, and how will data be cleaned? Okay, how will data be sourced? All of these are to be established in your data governance policies. Then involve key stakeholders in the data analysis process. Why you need key stakeholders in the data analysis process is because you need input, you need feedback about what you are doing, all right? And then you have to continuously monitor and evaluate the impact of change on your data, all right? Now, moving forward, we have some case studies on DDM. Let's look at the Netflix personalized content recommendation. The change initiative here was that Netflix revolutionized its content recommendation system to enhance user engagement. The GDDM in action here, they collected extensive user data on viewing habits, preferences, and ratings, utilize machine learning algorithms to analyze the data and predict user preferences, and then they implemented personalized content recommendations based on individual viewing history. Now, it's not only Netflix that is doing this, you see YouTube do this, you see other platforms do this. So what are they doing? They are using DDTM in practice. Now, what were the improvements for Netflix? They had efficiency, increased user engagement by providing tailored content suggestions. They have cost effectiveness, optimized content delivery, reducing the need for excessive marketing, and they have overall performance boosted, customer satisfaction, retention, and streaming hours. Okay. So as we learn all these things, it is important for us to take these case studies and begin to look at them with respect to what we are doing, and then ask ourselves questions. How can we apply the concept of the things we are learning in our own domains? This is very, very important. So we have another case study of Prota and Gambo P&G supply chain optimization. The change initiative here was for P&G aiming to optimize its supply chain for analyze historical and real-time data to identify bottlenecks and areas of improvement. Now, the overall improvement, they had efficiency, there was reduced lead times, improved order fulfillment, and minimized stockouts. And then they had cost effectiveness, which they had lowered operational costs to optimize inventory improvement. And then they had overall performance, which the experience enhanced supply chain agility, responsiveness, and customer satisfaction. This was the case of Procter & Gamble P&G in their supply chain optimization. So I don't know what your own company's case might be, but it's important we look at these case studies and find out where and how we can apply all of what we're learning in our own case. All right. So this morning we'll have Benjamin Biden from Sweden. We have Ikechukwu Ituma from Port Harcourt. We have Emen Asopo from Akwa Ibom. Okay, we have Shade Daniel. So I don't know where Shade is joining us. I think Shade should be from Lagos too. Okay, so please let's feel free to share the link. Let's keep sharing the link. Let's keep inviting people. Okay, like I will always say, this is one of the most critical courses that you will want to take this year. All right. This course is one of the most extensive and one of the most needed courses in this current time. All right. So you are a head of department, your supervisor, you're a team lead. Okay. You might not necessarily be a data analyst, but you having this leadership training, this top level training is key for your own career growth and business growth this year. So with this, you can be able to supervise data analytics teams. You can be able to supervise other leaders within your company. You can be able to supervise top management, okay, and be able to give them guide on what they need to do. All right. So this is a very important course, and we don't want you to miss any part of this. We don't want anybody to miss any part of this. All right. Okay. Then we have the strategic data integration in change management. How do we integrate data in change management? Why data analytics in change? Because it provides objective insights into current processes and performance. It enables proactive identification of opportunities and challenges, and then it enhances the precision of decision making during change initiatives. This is how we have integration of data analytics into initiating change. All right, then going forward, what are the key components of data integration in terms of change management? What are the key components of data integration? We come back to talking about data collection, data analytics, strategy integration, like infusing data insights into the overall change strategy. So by the time you do data analysis and data collection and data analysis, we expect that you should have had some visuals to make clearer explanation of what your data is all about. So with that visualization or with the outcome of your analysis, we expect that you should use that to integrate into your change initiative process, okay, for the purpose of driving positive change, okay, and that becomes part of your change strategy as well. All right. Now, going forward, we have the benefits of data-driven change. Okay, I think we've mentioned this before. We have the informed decision making, we have risk mitigation, and then we have optimized strategies. Analytics tools and technologies. We have the data visualization tools. You can use tools like Tableau. You can use tools like the Power BI. You can use tools like the Zoho Analytics. You can use tools like Google Analytics, the spreadsheets, Excel, okay, and several others, okay, that you can use. But in contemporary times, for advanced data management, we recommend that you use either Power BI or you use Tableau. But don't forget that Excel also is a very powerful tool. Google Analytics is a very powerful tool. Zoho Analytics, all are powerful tools. So find the one that you're very conversant and you want to learn or you're convenient with, and then use that. Then you have the predictive analytics. The predictive analytics forecast potential outcomes and plan accordingly. All right. Then you have machine learning. You can also use machine learning to extract deeper insights for more nuanced decision making. So you talk about SQL, the query, and all of that. So you can use all of those. You have the R code and all of those things. You can use them in your in extraction of data and then using them for data-driven decision making. Okay, moving on. Now, what are the best practices for you and I? Number one, start early. When it comes to integration, start your integration early. All right, start your integration early. To be very sincere with you, when you start data integration late, you will regret it. Okay, you will regret it. And I'm talking from the point of experience. Okay, you're talking from the point of experience. If you're an SME, in fact, start your integration from the day you started your. In fact, before you even start your business, begin to gather data. Okay, begin record, document, and have data of whatever thing that is happening. Okay, those things will help you. And then advanced integrations, make sure you also plan them and start them early. All right, then ensure that you collaborate. Okay, use collaboration, foster cross-functional collaboration between data and change management teams, and then always engage in continuous evaluation to know how your data is moving and how your data is impacting your business per time. All right. Now, the wrap-up statement on data-driven decision making. The synergy of analytics and change strategies enhance adaptability and success. Embrace data integration as a cornerstone for informed and impactful change. Now, one of the good news is that we have some online tools where you can upload your data and then they can help you analyze the things you want to analyze. For instance, the Google Analytics, the Google Excel sheets, they can help you, or Google Sheets rather, can help you analyze your data while you upload your data. All right. So this is very, very important. All right. One more time, let's share the link, let's share the stream, and let's have others join us. Okay, let's have others join us. Today's class is going to be very, very detailed, and it's an advanced training. So I will expect you to ask me questions in the chat room, send me your questions. Okay, then let's have these interactions together. Okay, and if you've not liked the stream, go ahead, like the stream. Go ahead, share it. If you've not subscribed, go ahead, subscribe. Okay, this is very, very important. All right. Now let's quickly look at module 2. So we just rounded up module 1. So now let's look at module 2. In module 2, we look at organizational transformation. And here we'll look at understanding organizational behavior, building a change-ready culture, aligning organizational goals with transformation initiative, and then we'll have assessment of organizational readiness for change. I'm going to try as much as I can to be fast in this area because I will want us to complete this particular module this morning, so that when we come in the evening, we will take modules 3 and 4. Then when we come back tomorrow morning, we'll be rounding up with the final module. All right? Okay, so let's hit the ground running. So lesson 1 under module 2, we have understanding of organizational transformation. By definition, organizational transformation is a fundamental and strategic change in an organizational structure, processes, culture, or strategies to achieve significant and lasting improvement. I want you to check that definition and see some important elements of that decision. Number 1 is fundamental. Number 2, it is strategic. A fundamental and strategic change in an organizational structure, processes, culture, or strategies to achieve significant and lasting improvement. This is very, very key and important. All right. All right. Then what's the purpose of organizational transformation? We have this purpose to address changes, seize opportunities, and enhance overall organizational effectiveness. And then number 2, for the purpose of responding to external changes or internal inefficiencies. So we have organizational transformation coming to place so that we can address challenges, seize opportunities, enhance overall operational effectiveness, and respond to external changes and internal inefficiencies. Now, moving forward, what are the drivers of transformation, organizational transformation? This transformation could come because of market shifts. This transformation could come because of technological advancement. This transformation could come because of competitive pressures. This transformation could come because of changing customer expectations. Now, we've dealt with most of these things in the first lecture, so we might not go on talking about them one after the other, but we understand them in intro terms, what they mean. All right. Now let's move on and then look at the phases of transformation. The phase of transformation, you have assessment, you have planning, you have execution, and then you have sustainment. Now, under assessment, you want to evaluate the current state and identify areas of improvement. And by the end of this module, one of the things we want to achieve is being able to conduct an organization change readiness assessment. Okay, and also being able to calculate change readiness index and normalizing change readiness index. Okay, then the second one is developing a comprehensive plan. Okay, on how we are going to go about the comprehensive change transformation. Okay, so how do we have a comprehensive plan? What comprehensive plan can we have so as to initiate the transformation? Then we have the execution, which is implementing the articles or the items in the plan. Of course, implementation or perhaps all of this whole process need to be agile. Okay, so you can adopt agile principles to make sure that these processes are effective and efficient. All right, in the agile processes, you can use sprint. You can use Kanban, you can use the Scrum, but you have to make sure that your processes, you can run them iteratively. Okay, you can run them iteratively to make sure that you can easily make feedback with with the ongoing processes. You can easily test what is happening, find easy feedback, integrate them back into the process, and then you continue with your whole process, right? And then you have the sustainment, that's embedding new practices, ensuring ongoing improvement, and then ensuring that there's going to be continuous improvement, continuous evolution of the whole transformation. Okay, so transformation doesn't happen just once. Transformation happens over and over. In fact, innovation is a product of transformation. Okay, innovation can drive transformation, and transformation can drive innovation. So when we are the ones driving the innovation, that means we are driving innovation to introduce transformation within, okay, or without the organization. But when we are buying an innovation, that means we are buying an innovation to drive a transformation within, right? So these are very, very important steps. Now, what's the leadership role in organizational transformation? What's the leadership role? Leadership need to set strong and a strong vision. Okay, they need to set strong vision for set and communicate a strong vision so that the stakeholders involved, the employees involved, and everyone involved can be able to run with that vision. So they have to set a strong vision, compelling vision, okay, and then be able to communicate that vision clearly so that stakeholders involved can understand what they say in part time. So first of all, set a strong vision, communicate a strong vision, and then guide your organization through the change. Okay, guide your organization through the change. These are the roles of leadership in transformation, organizational transformation. Now, what's the role of employee involvement? The employees are supposed to be engaged in the whole transformation process. This is to foster a culture of collaboration and shared commitment. So the role of employees here is, first of all, to get to buy into the whole process, okay, and then get committed into it. Okay, without employees, we understand that change will be resisted. So you don't want your change being resisted. So you want them to be part of the whole process. Okay, so their involvement is very key in driving organizational change. Then we'll have that of the communication strategy. What communication strategy do you need to drive organizational transformation? Number one, you need a transparent and consistent communication. You need a transparent and consistent communication. Transparent and consistent communication. When we say transparent and consistent, what this simply means is that for all of the people involved, all of the stakeholders involved in the change management process, you should be able to know exactly what information they need, the frequency for which the information should be shared, and then you share the info, you generate the information accordingly and share it according to the frequency determined. All right. And then secondly, address concise, convey the vision, and provide regular updates. Address concise, convey the vision, and then provide regular updates. Okay, this is very, very important. Now I have the cultural shifts. Cultural shifts. When we have organizational transformation, one of the things we get to experience is cultural shifts. That's transformation or cultural shift, moving from one point to another, changing from one way to another. Okay, so during organizational transformation, one of the things we experience is cultural shift. Transformation often requires a shift in organizational culture, which is to foster a mindset of adaptability and continuous improvement. Foster a culture of adaptability, or foster a mindset of adaptability and continuous improvement. All right, this is very, very important. All right. Then one of the ways of initiating this transformation or running organizational transformation is through flexibility and adaptability. Okay, be prepared to adjust strategies based on feedback and evolving circumstances. Embrace a flexible and agile approach when initiating organizational transformation. Then you also have need for technology integration. So you leverage your technology to streamline processes and enhance efficiency. Ensure seamless integration with existing systems. This is very, very important. Ensure seamless integration with existing systems. Ensure seamless integration with existing systems. All right. Okay. Now, another thing you want to do when it comes to organizational transformation is measurement and evaluation. You want to know the impact of your change initiatives on your organization. So establish metrics to measure the success of transformation effort, and then regularly evaluate progress against predefined objectives. This is very, very important. Okay, this is very, 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 very important. All right. Then you have the learning organization. Encourage for transformation to take place, there must be learning. For transformation to take place, there must be learning and continuous learning. So encourage the culture of continuous learning and innovation, and learning from both successes and failures for ongoing improvement. Learning from both successes and failures for ongoing improvements. Note, organizational transformation is a dynamic and multifaceted process that requires strategic planning, strong leadership, and a commitment to adapt in response to the ever-changing business landscape. All right, so we've looked at the basics of organizational transformation. We looked at what organizational transformation is, and we looked at different concepts around organizational transformation. Now, one more time, in case you've not shared the stream, please go ahead, share the stream, invite someone, and let them be part of this whole training. All right, okay, now us moving forward, we have lesson 2, understanding organizational behavior. Now, this particular lesson is very, very important. This particular lesson is very, very important. And at this point, if you've not shared the stream, please go ahead and share the stream right now. Go ahead and share the stream right now, because this is a very crucial moment where you have to learn. Okay, where you have to learn. So let's go ahead, share the screen. And I need you to get your pen and paper at this time. Okay, if it is possible, get your paper and pen at this time, because we'll be learning some vital things about organizational behaviors. Okay, and of course, let me begin this way, that organizational behavior studies how individuals and groups behave within an organization. It studies how individuals and groups behave within an organization. That is organizational behavior. Now, with that being said, you will agree with me that organizational behavior has a major role to play in driving change. Organizational behavior has a very critical role to play in driving change. So that's to say that the behavior of an organization will determine the pace of organizational transformation. Okay, the behavior of an organization will determine the pace of organizational transformation or change initiatives within that organization. And this is very, very critical. Okay, this is very, very critical. Now, moving forward, we have the key elements of organizational behavior. Number 1, focuses on individuals, groups, and organizations as a whole. Then you have examine behavior in the context of work, aiming to improve performance and well-being. So the whole essence of organizational behavior is to improve performance and well-being of workers. That's just the whole essence. So why do we introduce organizational transformation? The same way we want to improve performance, we want to improve well-being, we want to improve competitiveness, and all the likes. So without good understanding of organizational behavior, it will be difficult to initiate successful transformation. It will be difficult to record successful transformation. Now, organizational behavior concept, what are the different concepts, or what are the things we can relate with in organizational behavior? We have individual behavior, which studies individual attitudes, motivation, and decision-making. Then you consider factors like personality, perception, and learning. Remember what we talked about yesterday, how the brain appreciates reward. So whenever the brain seeks something that it feels it will be rewarded for, it wants to take up that assignment. That is also a measure of the neural profiles, right? We talked about the neural profiles yesterday. Now, when you take a look at explaining the concept of neural profile, individual behavior, they all boil down to one thing. Okay, how can we manage people in order to drive the required change that we need? So you need a good understanding of these human behaviors. You need a good understanding of all of this to be able to drive what? To be able to drive change. Then we have the second one, which is group dynamics. Group dynamics is analyzing how individuals form groups and interact, and then explores communication, leadership, and conflict resolution within teams. So how do individuals interact within teams in terms of leadership, in terms of communication, in terms of conflict resolution? How do individuals really interact? How do individuals really relate? All of these are very important in managing change. Of course, when you join an organization, you're no longer just an individual. You're an individual now in a group, and in most cases, you have individual in a group, and then you still have subgroups. So maybe you have individual in a company, and then you have individual in a company that is a department. Then you have individual that is a company that is a department, but that is in a particular committee. Then you have an individual that is in a company, that is in a department, that is in a particular committee, and then that is in a particular subcommittee. So all of these form different groups, different teams, and then different dynamics playing. For every time you have to interact with different person, the dynamics of that group is not the same as when you meet another. So harmonization and congruence in terms of team dynamics is very, very key in driving change. Then you have organizational culture. Organizational culture. Organizational culture defines the shared values, beliefs, and norms within the organization, shapes behavior, and influences how employees interact. That's the organizational culture. Still on the organizational concept of motivation and job satisfaction, this examines what drives individuals to perform at their best, studies factors such as factors influencing job satisfaction and engagement. They have leadership styles, explores different leadership approaches and their impact. So the authoritarian leadership style has its own impact. The democratic leadership style has its own impact. The laissez-faire leadership style has its own impact. So the bureaucratic leadership style has its own impact. So every leadership style have their own impact on the organization and on the people. And that has a way of driving change and then resulting to transformation at the end of the day. Okay. Then you have the communication channels. You have the communication channels. Still on organizational behavior, we understand communication is a key aspect of human interaction or human relationship. So communication channels here studies how information flows within an organization, emphasizes the importance of effective communication for success. It emphasizes the importance of effective communication for success. Then you have conflict resolution, which addresses sources of conflict and strategies for resolution, encourages constructive conflicts that foster growth and innovation. All of these things are part of the things that make up organizational behavior. They have change management, also focuses on how organizations navigate and adapt to change, considers employee reactions and strategies for change, for successful change implementation. Then you have the employee well-being, which recognizes the importance of a healthy work environment, considers work-life balance, stress management, and overall employee well-being. All of these are considered in organizational behavior concepts. Then you have the organizational citizenship behavior, which studies voluntary positive actions that contribute to organizational success. It encourages a supportive and collaborative workplace. So individuals come up with voluntary and positive contributions to the organizational success. This is called organizational citizenship. People having ownership of the organization in terms of thoughts, in terms of contribution, and the likes. Okay. Note, understanding organizational behavior is essential for creating a positive and productive work environment. It enables organizations to optimize human potential, foster teamwork, and adapt to the evolving needs of the workplace. Now, lesson 3. Before we go on to lesson 3, can we take a very quick break? Can we take a 30 seconds? Can we take a 30 seconds break? Let's take a 30 seconds break, and then when we come back, we will continue. Or we'll come back, we'll continue. 30 seconds, stretch out, and then we'll be back. Thank you. All right, well, welcome back. Well, welcome back. So we are at lesson 3, building a change-ready culture. Building a change-ready culture. Building a change-ready culture. It is important that when driving a transformation organization, having a change-ready culture or change-ready team it facilitates, it fast tracks the whole transformation process. Okay, a change-ready culture facilitates the transformation that you want to have in your organization. Okay, so how then do you build a change-ready culture? A change-ready culture is characterized by an organization's ability to proactively embrace, adapt to, and thrive in the face of continuous change. Building a change-ready culture is an ongoing process that requires commitment, communication, and collaborative efforts from leaders and employees alike. Now, what are the key components of a change-ready culture? There must be open communication, okay, where we encourage transparent and honest dialogue at all levels. And then it fosters an environment where ideas and concerns can be freely shared. Then it also has flexibility and adaptability. You instill a mindset that views change as an opportunity for growth and empowers employees to embrace new ideas. Embrace new ideas. They have the component of continuous learning. Like I said earlier, you cannot really achieve change without continuous learning. You cannot, no one can actually have successful change without continuous learning. So we must engage in continuous learning to experience positive change. We must engage in continuous learning to have positive change. Okay, this is very, very important. This is very, very important. Now, moving on, we have the concept of the leadership's role in building a change-ready culture. So, number one, there should be visionary leadership. That's creating a strong leadership, creating a strong vision, and communicating it to the employees. And then there is need for empowerment through training, empowerment through delegations, empowerment through every other means that will get the employees to be part of the change readiness. Now, concepts in change-ready culture, you have the concept of inclusivity. So everyone should be recognized and brought to have their own perspective in change initiative. They will have the risk-taking culture. Okay, change-ready culture is one that is ready to take risks. They have clear communication strategy. A change-ready culture has a clear communication strategy. Then you also have that of employee involvement. A change-ready culture has employee involvement, recognition and rewards. A change-ready culture rewards and recognizes its employees for introducing change or for having a change initiative. They have resilience training. Okay, change-ready culture provides up-to-date trainings to make sure that people or employees and stakeholders have all it takes to be able to manage changes as they come. Then proceeding forward, you have measurement and feedback. Measurement and feedback. Measurement and feedback. Change-ready culture is always measuring the level of change, is always taking feedback, reintegrating them, and then moving forward with better decisions. Then you have celebrating successes. Change-ready culture is ready to try, and for every trial they succeed, they take time to celebrate. Sustainability. Embed the change-ready mindset into the organizational DNA. Ensure that the culture evolves to remain adaptive in the long term. This is very, very important. This is very, 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 very important. Now, how do you align organizational goals with transformational initiatives? By introduction, alignment ensures that transformational efforts are directly linked to achieving overarching organizational goals. So you don't just come up with transformation, but let the transformation align with organizational goals. This is very, very important. Now, in the importance of alignment, it ensures focused and purposeful transformation and enhances efficiency by directing efforts towards strategic priorities. Now, the strategic goal definition here will be to clearly define the organizational goals in terms of strategic change management and then prioritize goals based on business objectives. You will also need to map your initiative to your organizational goals, making sure that there is a traceability between the objective. Okay, there is a traceability between the objective and the goal of the organization, the organizational goal. All right, so there should be direct and measurable correlation, okay, between goals and the transformation initiative that you want to bring in, organizational goals and the transformation initiatives. Then you have the cross-functional collaboration. Let there be collaboration among departments. Let there be complementary initiatives to have a holistic view and a holistic pursuit of that particular transformation. Okay, they have the leadership alignment. No matter what you're doing in transformation, organizational transformation, if the leadership is not involved in what you're doing, it will always end up in frustration. Okay, so the best thing you want to do is to have leadership alignment first before you go in with the transformation. They also have your communication strategy, like we always say, make sure that your communication strategy is clear, is transparent, is visible to all. Okay, and then reinforce the shared vision for the future. For performance metrics, make sure that you have your KPI with organizational goals, and then regularly assess and communicate progress. Then you have the resource allocation. You want to be sure that the resources available are allocated to the right activities. So with resource allocation, you can allocate resources for the transformation that you want to have. Okay, you want to allocate resources strategically based on the priority, and then you optimize the resource distribution for maximum impact. Still on aligning organizational goals with transformation initiative, make sure that there is agile adjustment. Remember, we keep talking about iteration, making sure that there is regular reviews and adapting strategies based on organizational needs. Okay, feedbacks are taken, reintegrated, and then giving back into the whole process. Then you have the employee involvement. There is no way you can run in transformation initiatives without employee engagement or employee involvement. Please make sure that employees understand the connection between their work and organizational goals, and then ensure a sense of purpose and contribution. They have the continuous evaluation. Yeah, your transformation initiative need to be continuously evaluated. This is very, very important. They need to be continuously evaluated. All right. Note, aligning organizational goals with transformation initiative is a dynamic and iterative process. Like I said, it's not a one-off thing. Okay, it's not a one-off thing. It's something you do regularly and you keep doing it. Okay, so you need to actually schedule time for transformation and how and when you want to introduce the transformation to your organization. It requires proactive leadership, effective communication, and commitment to ensuring that every transformation effort contributes directly to the overarching success of the organization. Now, lesson 4, which is going to be our last lecture this morning, is assessment of readiness for change. Assessment of readiness for change. Assessment of readiness for change. That's going to be our last class this morning. Assessment of readiness for change. How do you assess if an organization is ready for change? Most often, when you are writing a business plan, when you're coming up with a business plan, there is always, in some advanced situations, especially those of us that are into NGOs, non-government and non-profit endeavors, there is always a point in your business plan that will try to do an assessment, capacity assessment, organizational readiness assessment, and all of that. So how do you conduct readiness assessment? And how do you know when an organization is ready for a change? That's what we want to do in this area. Now, before we proceed, please make sure you are sharing this stream, restreaming, resharing all across the platforms, and make sure that people are joining. And also, in case you have not liked and subscribed, please go ahead, like the stream, subscribe, and then let's have your questions in the comment section. All right. Okay. So this is very, very important. This area is one. In fact, this area is one of the areas that strategy consultants change management consultants make the most of, when I say make the most of money, okay, because not every organization understand how to carry out this assessment. So most strategists, they focus on organizational readiness assessment, okay, and it's something that is system-wide, okay, it is a system-wide thing, so it's not something you just do and say you're done. No, it's a system-wide thing, okay, it's a system-wide thing, all right? So what is assessment of organizational readiness? Let's look at a little introduction. By introduction, organizational readiness assessment is a critical step before embarking on any change initiative. It's a critical step. Now, assessing readiness involves evaluating the organization's capacity and willingness to undergo successful change. Okay, the assessing readiness involves evaluating the organization's capacity and willingness to undergo successful change. So this is the thing you want to find out before you go on to launching any form of change. This is very, very important. Okay, because when the people are not willing, when the organization is not willing, and you want to introduce change, it is going to be heavily resisted. Okay, so you need to find out readiness for change. And this is also very, very important. In some cases, you talk about things like TNA, training needs assessment. Okay, so let organizations tell you that, yes, we are ready to undergo a training before you go writing about a proposal to them and all of that. So they might not necessarily want to pay attention to you if they feel that you are not, you're not going to give them what they want. So you want to be sure of what organizations want before you go into it. If you want to introduce an upgrade, you want to go through the organization and do a readiness assessment. Okay, so in this section, we're going to take our time and go through that, the templates, the processes, and all that is involved. We go through that. All right, this is very, very important. Okay, so let's move on now very fast. Key components of assessment of organizational readiness for change. You must have leadership support. Okay, no matter how you want to have a change, if the leadership support is not there, you won't be able to get anything. So the number one weight that could determine if your organization is ready for change or not is the leadership support. Then the next one that has a strong weight is the employee engagement. Your employee engagement, your employee involvement is very, very important. Now, the leadership may have what they want to do, but employee is not ready for that. There will be a resistance, okay? And that could bring it lingering the whole transformation process. Then you have the cultural alignment. Cultural alignment assess the the compatibility of change with the existing organizational culture. Remember what we talked about cognitive dissonance. When organizations perceive that there is a misalignment between what is coming versus what is existing, they want to resist that. When the brain sees a misalignment between what is coming in and what is already existing inside the brain, there seems to be a resistance. Okay, so let there be some sort of cultural alignment. And to be able to achieve this, you need to engage in clear communications, awareness trainings, awareness campaigns, so that people can begin to see the need for that. Okay, I remember those days that we started talking about cashless policies. It seemed as though it was a very hard policy, right? And of course, at some point, it beat very hard on the people, but it helped us in some way have a culture of becoming cashless. So there were introductions to make the whole process cashless. You have the USSD code transaction method. You have the mobile banking. You have the internet banking. You have the ATM banking. You have different kinds of banking. You have the telephone banking. You have email banking, WhatsApp banking, all manner of banking these days. All right. All of these things were done to do what? To make sure that the transition from cash full policy to cashless policy was a reality. Yeah, there were sometimes the thing beat so hard, but now most of us find it difficult to carry cash around. Okay, most of us find it difficult. You'll be considered abnormal. Maybe you carry 100,000 naira in your wallet, or you're just carrying it, you say, what are you doing? Say you in case you need money, that would be abnormal, because that era has passed. We have moved into a new era where everything operates digitally, right? Especially the finance industry. Now, you also talked about the cryptocurrency, the blockchain. In Africa, for a case, we've been resisting it, but it keeps coming. So with time, we'll also get to have that. The reason why cryptocurrency is not being bought wholeheartedly in Nigeria is because of leadership. Leadership is not supporting that. Although now we have our own e-currency, but we are still resisting the cryptocurrency. Okay, we are accepting blockchain, but we are not accepting cryptocurrency. Okay, all right. But I am very confident that one of these days, one government will come in and tell you, okay, so we lift the ban on cryptocurrencies, we are making it a legal tender, and then the change will be introduced, and then that transformation will take another shape. All right. So cultural alignment is very, very important. You must know what could hinder that transitioning or transformation from happening. Okay. Then we have important considerations in organizational assessment. You have communication effectiveness, you have resource availability. These are the things you need to consider when initiating a change. You need to look at the effectiveness of the communication, you look at the availability of the resources, you look at the training and development that have been conducted to prepare the people for the change. Then you also want to look at the risk analysis. What are the risks involved in the change? You want to look at past change experiences. The last time you introduced change, what was the experience with your organization? What was the experience with your staff, your employees, with your board members? Okay, you need to take care of all of those things. And you look at stakeholder involvement in the whole process. These are very important considerations. Then you also want to look at your readiness. I think I'm repeating something there. You need to look at the readiness index and then confirm if there is an action plan that will be used to carry on with the transformation. Okay, this is very, very important. Now, note, assessing organizational readiness is a proactive measure that sets the foundation for successful change implementation. It allows organizations to anticipate challenges, optimize resources, and tailor strategies for a smoother transition. Now, what are the tools and techniques for assessment of organizational readiness? What are the tools and techniques? What are the tools and techniques? What are the tools and techniques for assessment of organizational readiness for change? You have surveys and you have questionnaires. You can use surveys and questionnaires. You can use interviews. Okay, you can use focus groups. All right. You can use readiness assessment surveys. You can use organizational network analysis, okay, to find the readiness of the departments that exist, the network of operation that exists. You want to find the readiness. Then you want to do a cultural assessment. Okay, are people open to change? Will there be an alignment between what is coming versus what is already existing? You want to find out and check out those things so that you can identify the obstacles and deal with them before they come up. Then you also want to use SWOT analysis. Okay, SWOT analysis will give you a holistic view of the internal and external factors that could be affecting the readiness of the organization towards change. Then you could also use benchmarking. Okay, so if there is an industry standard, you can use benchmarking. For instance, if you're coming into Nigeria, if you're coming to the Nigerian banking sector, you must be ready to make availability of ATMs. You must be ready to make availability of internet banking. You must be ready to make available mobile apps. Those ones are standard benchmarks. Okay, you don't need to like them to introduce them. They are benchmarks. They are industry benchmarks. Then you can also use project management tools to check for organizational readiness, okay, and also plan for organizational readiness. Then also your KPI, your key performance indicators will also be a great one to check for readiness, okay? This is very, very important. Note, selecting the appropriate combination of these tools and techniques depends on the nature of the change, organizational culture, and the specific goals of the readiness assessment. Combining both quantitative and qualitative methods often provides a more comprehensive understanding of the organization's readiness for change. So when you are conducting readiness for change, you compare both the qualitative and the quantitative method to make sure that you are able to make clear decisions. Now, this is a typical template of assessing organizational readiness for change. So this is just a template measured on a scale of 1 to 5, where 5 is very ready, 4 is ready, 3 is neutral, 2 is not ready, and 1 is not very ready. So if you take the components of the organization that determines readiness, for instance, you take leadership support, you want to find out the commitment of top management. Are they very ready? Are they ready? Are they neutral? Are they not ready? They're very, not very ready. So you want to measure all of that. Alignment with change vision. You want to find where they are. Then you have employee engagement. You have employees' understanding of proposed change. If by that they are very ready, you want to also confirm. Identification of potential resistances. By yes, if the resistance is low, that means they are towards very ready. If the resistance is high, that means they are towards not very ready. Then you also want to check for cultural alignment, compatibility with organizational culture, cultural elements supporting or hindering change. So you want to measure all of those things. You want to measure communication effectiveness. You want to measure resource availability. You want to measure training and development. You want to measure risk assessment, past change experiences, stakeholder involvement. All of these are involved in this template, or they are included in this template. So all you need to do is get the template and then use that. Remember that this is called a template. It is not a standard. Okay, it is called a template. It is not a standard. Then you have the readiness index, which is a quantification of the readiness level. Okay, so by the readiness index, you will find out also where the organization belongs to part-time. Then you have the action plan, where you have development of tailored action plans, addressing gaps and reinforcing strengths. Now, let me summarize with this: calculating readiness index. How do you calculate readiness index? How do you calculate readiness index? Okay, so from what I'm viewing, I don't know how it is in your end, but from the feedback I'm getting, it seems as though we're having blood visual. So this is an internet case. So perhaps when you refresh your when the lecture is done and you come back, the lecture should be able to be clearer and all of that. Okay. So when reviewing this, it will be much more clear. All right. So it's just a networker challenge. All right. Calculating readiness index. Okay. So let's look at the various factors that will be used in calculating readiness index. So the step 1 is for you to identify the key factors that you want to weigh. You have a whole lot of them on the screen that you can measure. Then you have also step 2, assigning weights to the items you have already identified. Assign weights to the items you've already identified. So you can assign weight from 1 to 5, where 5 has the highest weight or highest importance. Okay, so if we were to represent weight with WN, and there will also have assignment of scores, assessment factor. So let's assume that we assign assessment factor to these things, to each of these factors. Also, we have the weight. Weight talks about the importance. Then we have the assessment factor talking about the readiness or effectiveness for each of them. Okay. Now, if we are to represent assessment score with XN, then what we'll now do is step 4 is to multiply and sum up the readiness score with the weight. So when you have the sum of the readiness scores and the weight, okay, so you multiply assessment score and weight, and then you add it for each of the elements. You keep adding it till you are done. By the time you keep multiplying and adding, you have a score. Now, the next thing you want to do is to normalize the score on the basis of 0 to 100. Okay, normalizing the score on the basis of 0 to 100. And to normalize the score, you have the normalized change readiness index, which you have change readiness index minus minimum index divided by bracket maximum index minus minimum index multiplied by 100. Okay, so by the time you have that, it will give you an index. That's the normalized index. So for example, let's take, after you've done that, then you have your interpretation of the index. Now, for example, assuming the following, that leadership support weighs 5 and the assessment score is 4, employee engagement weighs 4 and the assessment is 3, and cultural alignment weighs 4 but the assessment is 5, then the change readiness index will be 4 times 5 for leadership, 3 times 4 for employee engagement, plus 5 times 4 for cultural alignment. So if you do that, you have 20 plus 12 plus 20, which will give you about 52. Okay, that will give you about 52. Now, if you normalize this score between 0 and 100, assuming, for example, a range of 0 to 60 for minimum and maximum potential score, you might get a normalized index of approximately 86.67. So with this definition, it is now left for you to identify what does this mean to your own organizational readiness template. All right, so we want to thank you for taking the time to be part of this training. Like I said, this is one of the most crucial training you want to have in this 2024. So it is lengthy, it could be a little boring, but let's pay attention and make the most of it. And by all means, get the material, get the certification, and then let it be part of the things you are driving this first quarter. One more time, I want to say thank you for joining us in this first section this morning. Our next session will be coming up by 4 p.m. today. All right. If you have any question, please feel free to drop that in the comment section, and feel free to like, share, and reshare. And in case you came late, just rewind and then rewatch. Rewind and what? Rewatch. Rewind and rewatch so that you can have all the full benefits associated with the program. Right. Our attendance will be taken in the evening. So when we come back in the evening by 4 p.m., we'll take attendance. Thank you so much and see you by 4 p.m. I don't know if the coordinator has any announcement. So coordinator, please, over to you before we shut down.
All right, well done, Dr. Bonito. Thank you for the good job. All right, please, everybody, I want to crave our indulgence. Kindly.
So when you come, we'll come back in the evening by 4 p.m. to take attendance. Thank you so much and see you by 4 p.m. I don't know if the coordinator.
All right, okay. I think I can hear you. All right, so thank you, Dr. Bonito, and thank you for joining us today as well. Please, I want to crave our indulgence to go back to the class, check again and again. It seems this course is not a course that we can just rush over and feel we can get everything once. So if we have more time, we can go back to rewatch, share, and also invite some other friends. We will meet again in the afternoon. Thank you.